The ordering process for Ultimate Fighting Championship pay-per-views has changed. UFC 239 is only available on ESPN in the US. The Ultimate Fighting Championship serves up a stacked card this Saturday in Las Vegas for UFC 239. A number of champions and ranked fighters are competing on the main card, so let's take a look at them and the possible implications their fights could have on the rankings. In the main event, Jon Jones defends his light heavyweight title against Thiago Santos. Jones 24-1, 1NC, is coming off dominant wins over Alexander Gustafsson and Anthony Smith and as a result, remains at the top of the pound-for-pound ranks. Bones is currently rated as the top pound-for-pound fighter by Sherdog and ESPN, while the UFC rankings have him at no. 2. Therefore, a win for Santos, 21-6, would not only make him the first to defeat Jones and become champion but could insert himself all the way to the top of the pound-for-pound ranks. Moreta is on a 4-fight win streak at light heavyweight and has won 8 of his last 9 fights overall. As a result, he is currently rated as the 6th best 205-pound fighter in the world by Sherdog, the 5th best by ESPN and is no. 2 in the UFC rankings. Another champion and pound-for-pound great is in action in the co-main event as Amanda Nunes defends her women's bantamweight title against Holly Holm. Nunes, 17-4, solidified her case as the greatest female fighter in history following her knockout of Cristiane Justino to become the featherweight queen. She can now further consolidate her place with a win over another former champion that would make it 9 straight victories. Lioness is currently rated as the best bantamweight and featherweight in the world by Sherdog, the best female pound-for-pound fighter by ESPN and is ranked no. 6 in the overall UFC pound-for-pound rankings. As for Holm, 12-4, while she is currently 2-4 in her last 6 fights, she is still one of the top contenders in the UFC. Following her win over Megan Anderson in a featherweight bout last year, Holm is currently ranked as the 5th best featherweight in the world as well as the 3rd best bantamweight in the world by Sherdog. Meanwhile, ESPN have her as the 4th best bantamweight in the world as well as the 8th best pound-for-pound female fighter, while Holm is also no. 2 in the UFC bantamweight rankings. A win over Nunes could move her up further the pound-for-pound ranks. A fan-friendly welterweight bout is also on the cards as heated rivals Jorge Masvidal and Ben Askren meet in what could virtually be a no.1 contender fight. Masvidal, 33-13, bounced back from a 2-fight losing streak with a huge knockout win over former title challenger Darren Till earlier this year. As a result, he is currently rated as the 9th best welterweight in the world by Sherdog, the 6th best by ESPN, and is no. 4 in the UFC rankings. Askren, 19-0, 1NC, meanwhile, is coming off a controversial debut win over former champion Robbie Lawler. Despite all the debates about the finish, Funky is currently rated as the 5th best 170-pounder in the world by Sherdog, the 10th best according to ESPN, and is ranked no. 5 in the UFC rankings. A definitive win for either could see them challenge Kamaru Usman for the title next. Further showing how stacked this card is, Luke Rockhold makes his light heavyweight debut against longtime contender Jan Blachowicz. Rockhold, 16-4, is 1-2 in his last 3 middleweight fights and decided to stop the brutal weight cut to 185. Despite his recent setbacks, the American Kickboxing Academy product is still ranked as the 7th best middleweight in the world by ESPN. A win on Saturday will see the former champion inserted into the light heavyweight ranks. As for Blachowicz, 23-8, he is coming off a knockout loss to Santos. However, he could make it 5 wins in 6 and remain in the title picture with arguably the biggest win of his career in Rockhold. The Pole is currently ranked as the 8th best light heavyweight in the world by Sherdog and ESPN, while he is no. 6 in the UFC rankings. Let's block ads. Why?